Tell us a bit about where we are today and kind of what you guys are doing over the next few days.
Yeah, so today we're down at Jitty Jitty Aboriginal School. So over the next few days, all our first to 4 year players will be participating in our community camp throughout the southwest region of WA. So we'll be going to schools and doing some clinics and answering some questions and just getting involved in the community space. So it's something that we haven't been able to do a lot over the last 2 years with sort of COVID and whatnot, but it's a really important part of getting involved in the community and touching base with our supporter base.
Have you been on one of these kind of camps before as part of the Dockers, or is this your first time? Have you had much experience?
I did it a little bit in my first year when I first got to the club, but it's been a while since we've been able to actually physically come and see schools and interact with the kids, because I think over the last few years we've had to do a lot of stuff over Zoom calls and stuff, which just isn't really the same. And it's great to be out here today and we'll be able to kick the footies with the kids and answer some questions. It's really good.
And you're from Somerville over in Victoria, which is pretty much a country region over there, a big country boy. How important is it for kind of teams to come down and kind of share these kind of things with kids who aren't in those metro areres?
Yeah, it's really important. I still remember St Kilda came down to my school when I was a kid, and we had Reece Stanley, and I remember looking up to him. He was a giant, from that day I knew I wanted to play AFL, and it was really interesting to sort of hear his perspective and learn a little bit of AFL footy. And it's really important for these country communities that might not be able to get up to the city and watch a lot of footy, or don't have that access that city people might have. So it's really important that we come down and touch base with our supporter base.
You mentioned you haven't been able to do it for the past few years. Is it nice to be back in person with those kids?
Oh, definitely, yeah. You don't really get the same effect when you're over Zoom call and the connection's a bit poor and there's a bit of delay and stuff. So it's great to come down here and see their smiles and have an impact on their day and hopefully bring a smile on their dial.
And obviously it's Jitty Jitty's a school with a massive focus on Indigenous culture and things like that. That's something that Fremantle have got a huge focus on as well. It must be kind of nice to come down and experience the culture here at a kind of grassroots level and with the young kids, considering how much the club's focused on it in kind of their whole history, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we do a lot of work in the Indigenous space, and it's something that we're really passionate about as a club. So it's a really special occasion today to come down to this school and interact with the kids and have a kick of the footy.
Have you had a chance to get around the southwest of the tourists since you've been with Freo?
Yeah, I actually have. Because the borders have been shut over the last couple of years, I couldn't go home. So I come down here for a bit and enjoyed the beaches and the really good weather. So I love this region. I dropped into the farmers market on the way and grabbed some food. So it's a nice little stop.
In terms of the footy, Hayden, obviously pre-season's started now. How's that going? How's your body feeling? You had a few hiccups, different things last year, but you had a pretty good year overall. How are you going yourself?
Yeah, really good. Had a great off-season. I was able to get away and have a mental refresh, I suppose, and then hit the ground running on Monday. Had my time trial and hit my times and feeling really fit. So hoping to keep the continuity in my body and have a good 2023 season.
What was it like coming back to the club after the break?
Really exciting. I think being able to get away was really important for me. Over the last few years it's been challenging being away from family and also just being stuck in one's place for the whole off season. Last year we weren't able to travel, so it was great to get away and sort of have a refresh and reflect on the season and then I got to go home and see my family and friends and relatives that I hadn't seen in a while. So I sort of filled up all my buckets and got back, and now I'm really motivated and ready to go and attack next season. So it was a level of excitement heading back to the club, feeling fresh and ready to go.
It was really noticeable last pre-season how fit the boys came back after that off-season where they spent a lot of time together. Is it the same this year? The guys come back, in your eyes, like just as fit or kind of even better than they were kind of coming out of last year?
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone's come back in really good nick. And although last year we were training a lot together and we're obviously very fit, it took a toll probably on our mental health because we weren't able to go home. And whereas I feel like this year everyone's in a really good space mentally. Everyone's really excited to be back at the club. There's a sense of energy within the club, and everyone's in really good shape. So it's exciting times.
And what are your personal goals this pre-season to sort of add to your game in the areas you want to improve on next season?
So following on from having a good season last year in terms of being healthy and fit, I want to keep that going and build some continuity in my body, because I definitely felt last year the more I was able to stay on the park, the more my football progressed, and the fitter I am, the healthier I am, the easier it is to perform on the weekend. So making sure that I'm healthy and fit and get a full pre-season just to set myself up. And then from a football standpoint, I just want to really dominate my position and my role in the team. I think last year, being able to play all year, I was able to progress and learn a lot. And the best way to learn is being out there on the park. And I'm hoping to do that again this year and keep developing in my role and playing my part for the team.
The draft obviously unfolded the past 3 days. What have you made the club's acquisitions, and have you managed to reach out to any of them?
Yeah, I was really impressed with the draftees that we've brought in. Looks like we've got a good mixture of youth and a bit of mature age talent, which is really exciting, with a few key defenders, rucks, half-backer. It's really good for our list. I think we're at a stage now where we're in a good position to bring in some mature age picks that can really add to our list, and along with some key position players that got some development to do, and hopefully in the future can really add to our group. So it's really exciting. I've reached out to a few of the boys and met them at the club this morning. They'll be down on our community camp, which will be a good induction for them, because we'll be able to spend some time together at our accommodation over the weekend and get to know them. So it's really exciting, bringing in new players and meeting new people, and hopefully we can add to the group and we can have a good 2023 season together.
What do you make of the addition of Corey Wagner, who's obviously been playing that half-back role? He's had a couple cracks at AFL level. He gets his third now. What do you make of his addition to the team, and the fact that he's probably trying to get a position where you're playing in the side at the moment?
Yeah, I watched his highlights over the weekend, and I love anyone that can run and bounce off the half-back line, because I'm not the quickest bloke. So if I can just dish it off to him, he can take off and do all the running. So he looks really exciting and a great acquisition to our team. And we want to be a team that transitions really quickly when we win the ball back, and it looks like he's got a lot of pace, and if we can get the ball in his hands, he'll be able to break lines and open the game up. So I'm really looking forward to meeting him and get to play with him.
Just one more. Obviously the disappointment last year, did so well, made a run in the finals. How much is that kind of fire burning in the belly and the hunger of the boys back on the track now? Do you feel like you're still got the same fire as you did last year when you're going through that really strong kind of period?
Yeah, definitely. Losing in that semi-final was pretty tough, but it definitely has fueled us over this off-season. And I think it was great to get there and experience 90,000 at the MCG in a big final, because we probably haven't played in front of a crowd like that, especially with a lot of young players in our side. So that was a really good learning opportunity for us, and we've been able to reflect on that, and we've learned that that's the level that we're going to have to get to if we want to perform at that time of the year. So it's going to be not front of mind, but certainly burning away in the background when we're preparing for this year.
And as well as the younger guys coming down and taking part of the camp, there's obviously a few experienced players who've returned ahead of schedule. What does that sort of mean to you as one of the young guys coming through, that they're willing to return and cut their break short to be a part of it from the start?
Yeah, it's really promising. We had Jagger down at the club yesterday joining in, and a few of the other, Lukey Ryan, Brendan Cox, Will Brody's been down, Sean Darcy. So it's really good to see the boys down there and getting involved, and there's a great feeling around the club. Jagger was unreal on the track yesterday. He's just a professional, and it was only a light skill session, but he was going 100%, and it was really good, and he's going to be a great asset to the group and going to be really good to learn from.